welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be tasting a beer from the Indian Wells Brewing Company, which is a small microbrewery based out in Southern California. If you'd like to learn more about this brewery, you can find a link to their website in the description box below. Today I'm going to be tasting their Blackout Stout, which was described to me as like a Guinness, but lighter. And since Guinness is my favorite beer of all time, I said to myself, I have to try this. But before I do, I just have to say, please drink responsibly, never drink and drive, always call an Uber or a LYFT and get home safe. And if you're pregnant, please don't drink. But I'm not pregnant and I'm not driving anywhere anytime soon, so giddy up, here we go. Now, on the bottle, here is, it says brewed in small batches with only honest ingredients on the bottom here. Pure Indian Wells spring water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. And on their website, they say about the beer, our rich dark stout is made from 3 types of select malts and 2 types of hops. We add heavy, flavorful barley flakes to our stout to give it a thick body and full, intensely rich taste, like the taste of Ireland, brewed with our pure spring water, stout yeast, and finished to perfection. The LA Times listed Blackout Stout as one of their beers of the month, and I'll add a link to that article in the description box below as well. Without further ado, here we go. Now, right off the bat, I can smell the berries. That's really and the malt. You smell that. But I'm gonna pour it, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. So here we go. Now, website and the bottle did not list the alcohol by volume, but I wound up going on Beer Advocate and found that this is apparently 5.2% alcohol by volume. The guys on Beer Advocate rate beers based on look, aroma, taste, and mouthfeel. Now, I'm not going to be doing that sort of formal rating because it has alcohol in it, so that makes it a 5 in my book. But I will be touching on all those points, so let's get started here. As you can see, it's opaque. So this is the Blackout Stout, and it's black, totally clear. The head is rich, creamy, mocha colored, which is excellent. So they definitely nailed the look of a beer. Now the smell. Yeah, now that you really get the malt a lot, but you have to smell and taste as well to really get bat, you get the strong, I got cherry flavor right up front, and then it develops in your mouth, and it's more malty. You get the malt comes through. Definitely a little bit of red wine, maybe. Little red wine. It's delicious. Very good. It has a full, effervescent mouthfeel. Definitely pull and coats your mouth. And in one of my previous 9 lives, I went to a lot of beer fests, and those beer fests, you're just tasting one after the other, and you really never get a chance to appreciate any one particular beer in its entirety. But now, as I've gotten older and more mature, I no longer want to get blackout drunk anymore. I like to enjoy the experience of tasting a beer. So, this is really how you do it. You have to appreciate the whole experience. But yeah, and you also want to taste lighter beers before you're going to drink a darker, more full-bodied beer like this one. Because if you drink a full-bodied beer like this, then you're not going to be able to taste the finer points of a lighter beer like a lager or any, amber beer. So that's why if you ever order a flight of beer, you're always going to see them colored from the lighter all the way progress to the darker. But when you go into these beer fests, you can't do that. There's just too much drinking, and you go to these tables, and oftentimes they're out of some of the beers that you want to try. So you're forced to take maybe a more potent beer than when you wanted, and you never really get a chance to appreciate them. So and you get drunk. But here, when you're in the safety of your own home, when you're not driving anywhere, you can drink responsibly. Some of the other beers that they have. They have the Lobotomy Bach, which is apparently one of their best sellers. They have the Mojave Red, which is their signature beer that actually they use to name their website. Then they have the Orange Blossom Amber, which is described as like a blue moon, if you're familiar with that beer. And then they have the Death Valley Pale Ale, which is just a light beer. So, if I was going to have a flight of beers, it would probably be in that order. The reverse order from the Death Valley Pale Ale, the Orange Blossom Amber, the Mojave Red, and then the Lobotomy Bach. Finish it off with this here Blackout Stout. brewings, you're supposed to uncork them, right? You're supposed to open them and let it rest for a while. I think this beer benefits from the similar experience. You have to let it rest, let it air out, and really let the flavors develop in the glass. And of course, you have to use the correct glass. This is just a pint glass. But if I was having the vodka, I'd be using a tin glass. So, I gotta say, this is really delicious. You know, the folks on Beer Advocate were actually down on the beer, but they were also down on Guinness. So, what do they know? That was what I thought about it. I definitely give this 2 thumbs up. It's a really good beer. You know, the thing is, it's a microbrewery, right? It's brewed in small batches. In my experience, I have brewed beer before, and when you're brewing beer, each batch is so inconsistent. There's so many different flavors that can develop. When you're micro brewing, it's not like your home brewing. You're not brewing in 5-gallon batches. When you're at home and you're home brewing, it's 5-gallon batches. And a few of our beers, when we first brewed them, they had a ascorbic flavor, and they were really harsh. But over time, they mellowed out, both in the bottle and once you've opened it, it's had a chance to air out. So this beer is certainly not anywhere on the level of a home brew. This is a professionally brewed, amazing beer. But in that same manner, like with any beers, if you let it fully develop into glass, it's going to be a better experience. Home brewing certainly gave me a greater appreciation for brews and really knowing the whole process from the brew day all the way through the bottling and how clean you have to be. That's the one thing that I took away from the home brewing experience. When you were using bleach to clean your buckets and your carboys and all the bottles, and as much as you try to eliminate that flavor from your beer, it's going to be there because it's such a strong flavor and it's going to impact the beer. But this beer, there's no off flavors or off smells. This is not anything like that. I'm talking about it mainly because it's part of my experience, and certainly has made me appreciate beers a lot more. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that it's a lot harder to brew a lager because you have to keep the beer at a lower temperature throughout the whole process. The yeast that lagers use is different than the yeast strain that ales use. And so an ale can ferment at a higher temperature, and that makes home brewing an ale a lot easier than a lager. That's why you don't see too many home brewed lagers. But there's always something that I wanted to try. Get a kegerator basically, and let the beer ferment in the kegerator, but it never happened. So, all the major beer manufacturers, beer breweries out there, they're making lagers because they have the industrial scale that microbreweries and home brewers sometimes don't have. So, anyway. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. What a lot of people don't know is YouTube does not allow content creators to see who is liking their videos or subscribing. The only way we know who's a subscriber is if you yourself have your subscriptions public. And I didn't know that until I started making videos here. So really, a lot of people don't have their subscriptions public. So really, if you want a content creator to know that you appreciate their work, please comment. So this way we know who's viewing our videos. This was really an excellent beer. So I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Thank you so much,